Talking biscuit boy proud. Static crackles like a rattlesnake's tail. Voices rolling like a freight train wheel. Cornbread man, biscuit boy, talking live love and southern joy. Cornbread man, biscuit boy, raise your glass, make some noise. Gravy drips in the southern drawl. Stories thick like the cypress tall. Radio rebels riding wild and free, shouting truths like a storm at sea. Hey, hey, can you feel that beat? Boots on the floor, fire in the heat. Cornbread man, biscuit boy, talking live love and southern joy. Cornbread man, biscuit boy, raise your glass, make some noise. Tales of dirt roads, whiskey skies that cut through the night like fireflies. Laughter echoes through the pines, two voices cross them county lines.
And here we are, Cornbread Man and Biscuit Boy, still
How
trying
is
to
everybody?
bring up a couple of streams. We hope everybody's had a good day. There is a lot of bad weather on the way for us as far as rain
Yep.
and wind tomorrow. Rain and wind tomorrow.
Yeah, it could get pretty ugly.
It could. They're calling for some flooding in our area, but we will endeavor to persevere, as the Indian said in the Outlaw Josie Wells.
Yes, he did. Chief Dan George.
Welcome to you on Instagram and other places. I have one Rumble channel that's still acting afoot.
Whoa.
Maybe we'll get the encoder here in a second, but it's not popped through yet. It may sit on your end. If not, though, Rumble Studio is up and every other channel is good.
David?
You have a scripture
I
that you
do.
wanted to ruminate about, and we were talking about just before going on the air that you had a scripture from the good book. And,
Yes, and it just hit me right at the last minute.
No, go right ahead. man.
And it's prayer for all men. Comes from 1 Timothy chapter 2, verses 1 through 8. I exhort, therefore, that first all supplications, prayers, intercessions, and givings of thanks be made for all men, for kings, and for all that are in authority, that when we lead that we lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. For this is good and acceptable in the sight of God our Savior, who will have all men to be saved, to come to the knowledge of the truth. For there is one God and one mediator between God and men, and that man is Christ Jesus.
Amen.
Who gave himself a ransom for all to be testified in due time. Whereunto I am ordained a preacher and an apostle. I speak the truth in Christ and lie not, a teacher of the Gentiles in faith and verity. I will therefore that all men pray everywhere, lifting up holy hands without wrath and doubting. Amen and amen.
Amen. The good book, the good word, and we love the word of God. Me and Paul used to do a ministry show years ago for quite a while.
Yeah, I love that show.
We did it out. That was the early days.
That was before podcasting and all that stuff.
It really was.
Yeah.
We were doing when we first started, we were doing tape.
Yeah,
And
we
then-
recorded everything.
Yeah, then we were putting it down on CD. Then it went to uploads down to the radio station and all that. Then I had just different forums and formats. So, but yeah, it was cool. I mean, we did a lot of stuff.
Ran it season.
Yeah, I mean, things
Good.
happen. You know, we were on the road a lot. It wouldn't have been possible. I thought was. I came back and did some more with some other gentlemen out of the church. We did that for a good while, and it served its purpose. And then I have tapes, man. I think they're at church. I have tapes, the cassette tapes of those with the stuff. I need to look through them.
Yeah, I would love to
And
hear some of those.
I'll bring them to the studio. I need to look through them and just see. We'll pull up a couple of examples of that. You know,
Yeah, that'd be
it was
nice.
all audio. There was no video back
Right.
then. It was we were using dual screens and stuff for the news items we were doing. We were cutting commercials and stuff. We had a third friend that joined us. He became the engineer, and we were doing everything.
Jason
the
did
hard
a
way.
great job too.
He did. We had
He
really had no equipment.
Right.
We added to it, and it we had a really I thought it was a really because God was blessing it. It was a really powerful show.
Jason Cabe, toast you,
Jason-
my friend. Hope
Jason
you're doing well.
Cave. He is. He's doing fantastic, man. He's,
Good.
doing absolutely wonderful. I don't get to see him or talk to him much anymore, but online I have, here and there. But
Did I tell you my wife used to babysit him when he was a kid?
no, I didn't know that.
I didn't.
If you
either.
told me, I forgot.
I didn't know it either. But
I say he was a big baby. He's a big man.
he is a big boy. Well, a big man. He's not a boy.
Big man.
anymore, But you know how it is.
I met him at work, which I guess is where you met him. He big Tennessee Volunteer fan.
Yeah, he is a big Tennessee.
We did a lot of online gaming and stuff back in the day. We did all kinds of stuff. But those are work friends that you develop and you're friends really for life.
I remember those fantasy football days.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Wow. I never really got into that, but you were good at it.
Well, I don't know if I was good at it, but I just tried to, when you're working 12-hour shifts and it's extremely hot, and you're just trying to do things to occupy your mind. It's kind of like doing time, which I think I've never done.
And that place was extremely hot.
And it was extreme, except for the wintertime, and it was extremely cold. But just
depends on where you worked at.
Well, that's true. That's true. Some places were hot year round because of the heat.
Still come to work in
and
shorts and a tank top.
I wore shorts every day. I never wore pants to work. People thought I was nuts, but you're just trying to get through the day. The hum of the machines, it just drive you crazy. You got to find something to keep your mind.
And there were 12-hour shifts.
12-hour shifts, and we were working overtime and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I forget how many days I went without a break. I mean, or how many months.
Oh, man.
Actually.
Well, there was that one time where you were talking about adventure. This is Wolf Nation and Wolf Nation Adventures, but they had you on like some sort of, I don't know if it was a penalty box, but they had you on like lean events for weeks or months at a time. Man, dude, that was like 5 days a week, intense. I mean, working long days.
Yeah.
where you would do these teams. They got a break, you didn't, because they kept joining with new teams.
Exactly. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Preston, I forget his last name anyway.
Jones, was it Preston Jones?
I don't remember.
I remember Preston.
He came to me and asked me if I would lead these teams, and it's 6S Kaizen, and what we would do is we would go in and pick a particular value stream, a particular part of the value stream, and we would focus for a month and meet and focus on how to lean, make it lean and get rid of the waste. And then we would attack it for a week.
High intensity attack.
And we saved that company millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of it was, a portion of it was painting, cleaning.
Yeah.
Everybody's filthy,
Got involved.
You're introducing new procedures. All this stuff has to be pretty much done by the end of the week. I mean, and Friday you're presenting. Yeah. So really all you had was Monday through Thursday. Maybe you could knock out something really early Friday, but it was so early that they did the closing. I was a part of some of those, and I did closing on some of those, but wow.
Do you remember Danny Eggleston?
Absolutely. Worked for him for a good while.
Danny used to keep me out of trouble.
Danny needed somebody to keep him out of trouble.
Oh, then that ought to tell you something. But Danny was a vice president.
He's good. He's a good fellow.
He was really good guy. Well, we did one of these events, and I did something really extreme to this particular project, and I deckled a die and actually reduced production to increase quantity because there were so many bad winders on there. Anyway. One of the other vice presidents came out. I don't remember who he was. He was from somewhere else, but he came and he said something, and I didn't know who he was, and I kind of went off on him a little bit. And Danny stepped in, and he said, "Sorry, Paul gets a little excitable sometimes, He was always stepping in and getting me out of trouble somehow or another. But
he was
a good guy.
Hey Barry. How you doing, buddy? I appreciate you stopping in, my friend from Gainesville, Georgia.
Gainesville.
Hey,
I got a joke for y'all. Y'all want to hear a joke tonight?
Let's hear the joke.
It's one of those moral of the story jokes.
Okay.
All right. So there was this teacher, and she gave her class an assignment one Friday, and over the weekend, she wanted them to go to their parents and come back with a story of, something that in their life, come back with a story that had a moral to it.
Yeah.
And so the weekend passed, Monday came. Teacher said, "Okay, who wants to go first?" Well, little Susie raised her hand. She said, "Okay, little Susie, go ahead." She said, my family owns a farm, and we got a lot of chickens, and we took all of the eggs and put them in a basket, and we were going to go to the market and sell them. But along the way, we hit a bump and all the eggs broke. She said, "Oh no." She said, "Well, what's the moral of the story?" And she said, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket." And she said, "Oh, wow, great. That's great. Who's next?" Well, little Lucy raised her hand. She said, "Okay, little Lucy, go ahead." She said, "Well, me and my family, we also own a farm, and we have a lot of chickens as well. And we took 8 eggs and put them in an incubator, and 6 of them hatched." And the teacher said, "Well, what's the moral of that story?" And she said, "Well, don't count your chickens before they hatch."
Okay.
She said, "Okay, that's pretty good." She said, "Who's next?" Well, little Johnny, he's over there, raised his hand. She said, "Okay, little Johnny, go ahead." And little Johnny said, "Well, so my Uncle Frank was in Vietnam, and his helicopter got shot down. Well, when it got shot, he jumped, and he had a case of beer, a machine gun, and a machete. He said when he hit the ground, he drank that case of beer, and the enemy approached him, and he killed 50 of them with the machine gun until he ran out of bullets. And then he killed about 10 to 15 more with a machete, and then strangled 10 with his bare hands." And the teacher was horrified. She was like, what's the moral of the story? He said, well, don't mess with Uncle Frank when he's drinking.
That's a good moral.
Don't mess with Uncle Frank when he's drinking.
Okay, Biscuit Boy.
I know, I'm fired.
No, it's good.
It's kind of like a dad joke in a way.
Yeah, you know. Well, we'll have one of those at least coming up in the Cornbread Nation show.
Right.
The Georgia Bubba, you know.
I've got a good one. I've just got to figure out how to clean it up.
That can be hard sometimes, you know.
It can be.
It's kind of like a liberal, ain't it? You gotta figure out how to clean them up.
Don't get me started.
All right, we'll
Don't get
behave.
me started.
We'll behave.
So how's everybody doing tonight? Anything new? Holler at us. Give us a topic. Y'all want to talk about something?
Well, we are, adventures, and
Yep.
I was watching. You sent me a video.
Yeah, the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, you said, and the thing of it said, this is one of the more easier, not easier,
Yes.
but
Yeah, it was. It was one of the more level sections.
yeah, level sections.
Yeah.
But there was, I didn't realize, it's like everywhere how many trees were down where that was at.
Yeah.
We was talking about the battlefield and how many trees were down on the ground.
And it's
Well-
from disease.
Yeah, it's from disease, and there's
Yeah.
a lot. There's a lot on the trail. I mean, just dead trees everywhere. Sometimes
There-
out in the trail.
Thousands
Yeah,
out in,
they have taken a tremendous hit. I mean,
Yep.
In the South,
that they
I mean, a
have.
tremendous hit. You'll have to read that one. I can't see it from here.
I'm hearing stuff about Venezuela and about all the kickbacks, about what 17 Republicans and 30-something Democrats received money from Venezuela. Well, I heard the same thing, and I actually read the list. I read the list of people, and if it's true, it's really, really disturbing.
Yeah.
Because it's Democrats, Republicans, and independents. Uncle Bernie was on that list.
Not shocked. I
No,
wouldn't
not at
think
all.
I'd be shocked at that at all.
But some of the Republicans, I was kind of shocked at. I was kind of shocked at.
Well, they go on sometimes with the best of intentions, and then they end up becoming part of the machine.
Yeah.
Part of the problem.
Yeah.
They just give up and say, "Well, I might as well get rich while I'm here."
And from what I
Enriched or
understand,
whatever.
Dave, from what I understand, these people were not only receiving kickbacks and things of that nature, they also were helping them. They were giving them information on what Trump was doing.
Yeah.
They were, trying to impede everything that he was doing. And if I got this right, Jeffries, he was late when he did it, but he contacted Venezuela after all of this had happened.
That's what I read.
Why did he contact them?
Yeah, that's what I read.
What was his reason? He's not the State Department, not that I know of.
There's a lot of rules. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
Even as companies and stuff, there are rules in place, and you got to be really careful how you deal, especially if you're dealing with restricted nations.
Well, there's ethics. You got to have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can definitely find yourself in jail because rules are in place to keep people from doing business with them. We put restrictions on them.
Yeah.
Restricted country, you're not supposed to have any dealings with them. You can't sell to them, and even if you know that who you're selling to is selling to them, you have to stop selling to that person. I mean, it's that
You
deep.
have to speak up at least.
Yeah, you have to do that at least and say, "Hey, there's a problem here." But
How are you on coffee, brother?
well, I'll tell you what, I would probably take a little bit. That was good coffee, man.
Well,
That's some of that SFP coffee, man. The Wolf Nation coffee.
yes, sir.
And
I just spilled some of
you
it.
see on the screen behind me the QR code for that. We're rebranding them. I'm still working on a couple things with that, but the Wolf Nation coffee is
And this is the breakfast blend.
the breakfast blend. It's a really good blend.
And it is it's a really good coffee. I bet you this would make a really good, if you pressed it right, it would make a good cappuccino or a latte.
Maybe. I have tried about 10 of the 40 plus, counting the teas, flavors and stuff that we have, blends and stuff. I've probably 10 to 12, and there wasn't a bad one in a lot.
Well, there's so many to choose from.
I mean, I've had the Cowboy blend, the Bali blend, the Mexico, the Ethiopia blend.
The Cowboy blend, I thought was just
It was great.
really good.
And there's a new one over there, the whiskey aged. They age it in a
Yeah, I
whiskey
can't
barrel.
wait to try that one.
That had a really good.
That might
smooth-
happen tonight.
And there's more. I can't think of them all off the top of my head because that's you know, your brain goes, your memory goes, and you just forget that. But yeah, you have to catch up with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start paying attention over here. You guys are saying Warnock. Yes, Warnock.
Georgia,
yeah, Warnock was supposedly involved in this. Yes, he was. And he said the Venezuelan blend.
They might have some good coffee coming out of there now. No, I don't believe there is a Venezuelan blend. And although, you know, who knows where coffee comes from.
South America.
By the way, remember, Paul, you'll remember this. What was the name of that coffee? Oh, I forgot. Ubon. Me and Paul LeBron here, Biscuit Boy, I don't even remember how we ended up getting somebody recommended the Ubon to me. And it's hard to find. I mean, I could find it in like a Food Line.
Yeah.
And it didn't come in a very big canister or anything, but we started, and it just smelled different. It was
such a good coffee.
It was so smooth. And so me and Biscuit Boy were making up these on the fly coffee commercials for this, and people would die laughing. They're like, y'all should be on a show somewhere. I mean, it was like
Ubon.
Your car breaks down.
Yeah.
Just drink a cup of Ubon, and the day will not seem as bad. We were doing all kinds of stuff like that. You know, it will add 10 points to your IQ. You know, or something like that.
You wake up in a bad mood. Ubon. It'll make it better.
And I remember we totally made this up. Well, I said we should contact the company, but people went and bought it and tried it just because of us. But one person said, well, how come it's better than this other coffee? How can you say that? And I said, oh, well, we didn't miss a beat. We were talking about how this particular coffee bean was on another side of the mountain.
Yeah.
And it had a more perfect blend of sun and rain and the soil. You can only find it on that side of that mountain.
And it's because of the leaves that fall that make the soil, you know, and there are certain berries, you know, that get into the soil as well. And it creates this particular taste in this coffee bean. We
were having fun. They were like, I think something's in the coffee. Because we were getting a little crazy with it, you know, like, what's in the coffee? Like, oh, it's great. And I had read the history of the company of how they came to be. So I took some elements of that and sort of changed it around. I made it like, you know, and there was a neat story about it, honestly, but I don't know if you've ever had it. Ubon coffee. I'm glad you remembered that because I sure couldn't remember.
Ubon.
But it was a smooth coffee. I mean, is there a coffee you won't drink?
A coffee I won't drink?
A brand, and not to bash a brand on here, but
Starbucks, pretty much. I don't like Starbucks coffee. I think it tastes like somebody chased a cat around and collected the beans.
I don't like their at the higher levels of the company. I don't like their values, and I don't like their coffee either. And their coffee is too expensive, but for me, I'm not a big fan of Maxwell's. I just can't get there.
I'm not a big fan of Starbucks logo either.
No.
You know, we're not going to get into that on this show. That's for the conspiracy show.
Yeah, and we're going to call that the Wolf Files, I think. I like that you came up with that, the Wolf Files.
Wolf Files.
Look for that starting next Wednesday. Probably we're going to have, or we'll figure it out.
The wolf knows the truth is out there.
Yeah, we're going to open it up and let y'all talk about. And Facebook just took a nosedive. That hasn't happened in a while. So let's see if I can.
We say something bad.
No, well, Facebook had trouble here at one point, so sometimes I can fix them. So it's just one of those deals, and it was happening to all creators, and it finally happened.
Barry,
to me.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Barry, you still there?
He's out there somewhere. From Gainesville.
He said he'd like to replace both of them, Warnock and
Asami.
Asaf. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
a weird name.
Well, they came in when, at one point, and
Warnock was supposed to be a preacher or something like that, wasn't he?
Oh, he is a preacher. That very historical
Does he preach?
Church.
What does he preach?
Well, that's a whole nother story, but he is the pastor or whatever of that church. That's that real historic one. I can't think of it.
It's what, South Georgia?
No. It's right in Atlanta, heart of Atlanta. It's very historical black church that Martin Luther King Jr. was a part of and everything. Very historical. I just can't think of its name right now, but he is the pastor of that church. So There's a lot of supporters. He does have a lot of supporters. I actually reached out to him on the matter of abortion, and of course, I got the stock answer that his constituents wanted protection for women's rights. Blah 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 blah. But I told him, as a man of God, you're taking a stance against life.
What about fetus rights?
But he's not for none of that. I mean,
Yeah.
So anyway,
I know somebody that
I know
is.
those are controversial subjects to some, not to me, but
Yeah.
and you can agree or disagree. But anyway, as the representative for the state, and I wanted to reach out, and I did. So I didn't, it wasn't ugly or anything. I just reached out and made the statement. I said, pastor to pastor,
I don't see how you can preach the gospel and be for abortion.
But,
I'm sorry,
but they
That's just
definitely were like that. But anyway, yeah, they need to go. But we
Ebenezer. Baptist Church.
yeah, thank you. I could not think of it to save my life, but
Thank you, Barry.
we got Facebook back up.
Or
so
should we call him Barry or Sea Dog?
that's up to him. I just
What do you want to call you, Barry?
I call him Barry.
Barry or Sea Dog? Call you Sea Dog.
Barry's a fine fella. He does a lot of research. He keeps in the know and does a lot of stuff. And I say in his life, he's probably done some adventures. He's probably, I would like to know some of the adventures he's did, but he's very involved in Southern causes and history and stuff like that. So he's done a lot of that. He's done a lot of that in his life. What I know of it. I mean, I don't know everything about him, but I know enough. And he goes after a story now. He's like the reporter that goes out, just continues to reach out and go after a story, and that's an adventure in itself.
We just got back from an adventure.
Yeah, you did. You were down at
Gulf Shores.
Gulf Shores, a cold Gulf
Yes,
Shores.
it was cold, but we still had a good time.
Did Howie have a good time, even though it was cold?
Yeah. Howie loved it. Howie went swimming.
Oh wow!
We didn't go swimming; it was just too cool for us. But we went by the dog park every time we took. We've got a trike, all right, an electric trike with a trailer for Howie. And he sits in that trailer and just loves it. He'll either sit down. A lot of times he wants to stand up because he's doing this all the time, looking around Jody, because she's the one there that drives. But
you're gonna have to send me some video of that. I want to see the dog.
He's hilarious.
rolling through the campground or whatever.
And we nicknamed him.
Yeah, he has a nickname now.
Right. Corn Dog.
Corn Dog.
He's our official mascot for Cornbread Nation. Corn Dog.
Corn Dog.
There you
go. He's got another paragraph there.
What's the 2020 election? I would say anybody associated with Kemp, including Chris Carr, Buddy Carter, Raffensperger, all those people, a whole new slate for governor.
Well, Kemp is turned out, much like DeSantis is, and also Kay Ivey in Alabama. All of them are on the ticket, and they will get, they will be voting on new governor. Now, Tommy Tuberville, the old ball coach, is going to be a strong candidate in Alabama. I haven't heard about exactly who in Georgia. I know some of them, but I don't know all of them.
Right.
In Georgia and Florida, who are running. Folks, Friday, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will have one of the candidates for the 14th district seat, which was Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat. She will be on with us for at least, we'll say probably an hour if she gets done before then, but we'll start at 4.
I'd like to hear some of her stances on things.
I have another gentleman who is running, and there's quite a few running, who is going to come on the podcast. He's looking for some dates and stuff. He said, absolutely. So we have 2. I reached out to 2 others. They would not get back with me, but I'm giving time to those who do. And it's either side. I don't care. It's an open seat. It's a special election.
Yeah.
March 10th, I will be there. I work on election day. I'm not going to do the early voting for that. Sometimes I do a half a day just to, you want to get back in the groove before election day. And this will be a pretty good turnout, I would say. In this election, I love it. I noticed. I think in the county next to us, or maybe it's this county. I don't know. The reason I got involved with elections was really a couple of reasons. One is
you've been involved with them for quite a while,
a few years now. There was a call for 50 extra poll workers needed because they had a special election.
Yeah.
That had to go concurrent with the general. It was 2 elections in one building. Crazy.
Wow.
Like you voted over here, then you came around, you voted at this one. And I
should have consolidated.
Well, they weren't allowed to by law.
Oh, okay.
It's the way that someone left or whatever. You couldn't do that. So there's a lot of rules to that. Yeah. So I was working with the special election. So we had 2 things or 1 thing or 2 things on that ballot. That's all. And but that was how I was, brought in and the training and all that. Well, then they said, "Do you want to stay?" I said, "Well, I enjoyed it. I'd like to." And then I've just continued to do that. And it's now I've been serving as assistant manager in my precinct,
right?
And which is fortunately, I'm I don't have to leave and go work at other ones unless it's early voting. I stay right here in my my precinct, and it's been a real blessing. And of course you can't engage people or nothing like that, but you can, just not about elections or anything like that, politics at all. But I've met a lot of people, and I would just tell you that a lot of people, you could tell in one of the last time that she was up for election, meaning MTG, there was a huge turnout for her. People really wanted to vote for her. And
hey, are you shy?
Am I shy
when you're out doing that stuff? Are you shy? Or you? I don't think you're shy. I don't think you got a shy bone in your body, do you?
I have a lot of shy in me.
Do you really?
I overcome it. I've worked hard to overcome that. I was extremely shy as a child, and people don't believe that I'm shy now. When the first time that we did these podcast shows, the first few on video, I was used to audio,
right? And
the video, it really messed with me. I had to really work hard because I felt totally out of my element.
Well, I did not know that.
But I'm a very extremely shy person. But there are
but you're the cornbread man, dude.
Well, there are things you do that overcome those things and tools in place. But I love to engage people. I love to engage people.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you how.
I said that as a joke. I didn't realize it was going to go there.
It's real. I will tell you how one of the things that I hate that really bothers me still. Now I get up and speak in front of people. It's hard for anybody. But when like Jeremy, my oldest son, like he's like, "Dad, I don't know how you do that." And I'm like, well, I was just like him. I didn't want to do that at one time. I've just developed skills. But
you got to get out of that comfort zone.
Well, I will tell you there are things you can do. Like if I was going to be in a room and expected to do anything, what I like to do, if at all possible, is I go in the room before anybody gets there.
Right.
And I sort of just get comfortable with the room.
Acquaint yourself.
Then as people are coming in, I engage everybody. So that I have developed a conversation already with those folks. Yeah. So I'm not this strange guy. It's like, I talked to him before the meeting. So I do as much as that I can. NC says I hear 2 more ICE protesters have been shot in Portland tonight, shot by ICE or other feds. I haven't been able to confirm that though.
There's
a lot of chaos that's going on right now, and these agitators. And by the way, when we were talking last night about this case, there were information we didn't have, and I just want to, and I was still right on everything I said, but there's added that makes it worse. Like they had been dealing with them for a while. And I didn't even notice that the woman she now had a. They say she said my wife. I don't know if they're really married or not. Right. She was filming her. So they were trying to get their content creation, showing how they're agitating, and they've been blocking them all day. And they told her, get out. So we see that part. And afterwards, she says it's my fault. Basically, because I think it was, I don't know if it was her idea or she brought her into that. But here these people are running around doing all this. Here's my question: these people are running around doing all this. How are they making money?
Well, they're being paid to do
Sure
all
they
that.
are. Sure they are.
They've already proven it.
So where's the money coming from? Follow the money all the way back, and some people need to be put in jail.
George Soros.
But it's going to intensify, and the Democrats have always, taken the side. Of course, listen, Tim Walz is probably shouting to the heavens, excited about this happening. Don't let him fool you. This guy is under such investigation right now.
Him and the mayor.
He can get on there and cry and talk about how this is sad, and he's talking tough. I'm calling out the National Guard and all.
Yeah, whatever.
This guy he's full of it, and he's guilty as the day is long, and he's happy because any news that takes the pressure off him publicly, he's loving it.
Barry said that yes, they're being paid, and they had freshly made signs within 24 hours. Yes, and there's got to be money behind that, and also Barry said call him Barry,
and they were not from that area. So they're coming across country. So,
well, if she was just out for a drive, all right, I know it was icy out there that day, and I didn't mean that as a pun, but she was sideways in the road, and what? Did she have an accident?
now she was blocking the road.
Exactly.
And she refused commands twice, and
then she hit.
She hit the Osage.
She did.
And another thing,
he had already been hit before.
That came out today too. Yeah. Actually, I think twice. One of them was really bad, but he had already went through two of them. You know what? You play stupid games. It's against the law. Those are felons. I mean, those are felonies what they were doing. Well, you have a right to defend yourself, and they can cry about it all they want. Everything that happened in that, she put herself in that position. But see if that is accurate. You know that the agitators in the government and Antifa and whatever, they're going to use this, and it's going to be on like Donkey Kong right now. They're wanting this right now because they're mad at the president, mad at what's going on.
Yeah, they're all full.
And they want this chaos to go on right now because they want to make him look as bad as they can before the midterms.
Yeah. I don't know what part of the country, that particular person making I guess they're from Minnesota. But
that's North Carolina. That's NC native. So.
No, I'm talking about the previous, saying the derogatory things about ICE and all of that stuff. About being shot. Anyway, if that happens down here, if somebody runs into me intentionally trying to kill me, I'm going to shoot them.
Well, I mean, you have a right to defend yourself.
Exactly.
A car, a big issue
is a weapon.
It's a lethal weapon, and look at we've had these people and these. It's become an act of terrorism for people to take cars and run over people at festivals and parades and stuff like that. You just can't do that. You can't. She made those choices, and and it's all on her and who paid her, because there's always an overlord that's back there paying someone to do all this evil stuff.
Yep.
And civil disobedience, terrorism, whatever it is, and they need to just keep hammering on that, and they need to show the receipts on all this stuff. They need to put all that out there. And then what's going to shut them up is when they get back far enough and they find out that there's some people involved in Congress.
Oh, and there's no doubt.
You search this out far enough.
Follow the money.
They're not
follow the money.
They're not smart enough to cover their tracks. They are not smart enough to cover their tracks.
No, there's too much going on. They can't cover their tracks. But Pete Hegseth, he coined a phrase, I guess.
Into a fell on his knees. Yeah. That's
Well,
and listen, there's a child involved. The child now loses. I mean, just go be a parent. Go be a parent.
Wow.
I mean, come on. The child, obviously, honestly,
why was she out
Child
there?
Protective Services needs to step in here and remove this child because they were out there committing felonies, and all that's happened, and they need to be a full investigation of that right now. Who's watching the kid? Who are they? How long they've been doing this? There's a lot that needs to happen here, investigation wise. So absolutely, that's horrible. Though. I mean, it's horrible if that happened.
Well, never judge a book by the cover. Always judge the cover by the book.
I mean, what actions did it take? Yeah, poor kid lost half her mommies yesterday. Yeah, and it's not the kid's fault. The kid's along for I think very young. What I understand, and how do you explain that one? I mean, I'm sure they'll spin it, but what doesn't change it doesn't.
JD Vance called the media out today.
Well, he should.
It's shame on them. I mean, and they should. With not just with this, with a lot of the things that they're doing, but especially with how they're trying to spin this whole thing.
And this is a lesson for anybody, whether it's intentional or by accident. If you are a parent, you have a responsibility to be there for your children as best you can. You may
you're supposed to protect them.
Health could happen, but you're not to go out and look for crazy.
Well, it's anarchy. That's what they want is anarchy.
The child needs you at home.
Yeah,
and
it goes with the dad. Dad shouldn't be out there.
Maybe they got kicked off of their freebie ride or something, and they decided to take money from these people. I want to know. I want to know their work history. I want to know. They need to. Get a hold of every text message, every email, phone call, see all that stuff needs to be pulled in. I mean, their life should be for the last 10 years should be gone over with a fine-tooth comb for at least 10 years, and put as many agents on as you need, because what that act right now, they're spending it that, and they're causing chaos in our country through this one thing. And if there's more, it'd be worse. But they're going to hurt the country and the nation through this act. And there's, these people are not good people. They're trying to paint it up like, an angel. She's an angel. She's never been in trouble. She's never. Well, okay. That whole argument falls apart when you hurt someone, or you attempt to hurt someone, or you killed someone, or whatever. You may not have did anything before, but you did that day.
Yeah,
you did that. Day.
One stupid decision can change your entire life.
Yeah,
trust me, I know that for a fact.
Well, sure, but these were not accidents. She didn't accidentally go block the ICE agents all day long.
Barry says he thinks that a 50-state Doge team ought to go in and investigate, do an investigative audit through all 50 states. Go in, Doge, all 50 states. And get rid of the IRS and just search.
There was some good news today, though. There was some good news in
That's
the state.
What I like
in the
hear.
State of Georgia, there is good news.
Sure.
I promise you, it's good news. Stacey Abrams has said she's not going to run for governor a third time. However, you knew there was some bad news.
There's got to be something.
She's going to stay with her action committee or whatever, and they're going to try to manipulate. Oh, did I say that?
No.
They're going to try to support their candidates in the Georgia elections, and they bragged about getting other people elected. Hint, hint. Yeah. What Barry was talking about and how they flip votes and everything.
Yep.
But that's the bad news. The good news is we don't have to look at her running for governor.
Well, Barry said there was 351,000 votes fraudulent in Fulton County during the election, and Kemp with Ref Berger approved the results. No one ever falls.
Now, she has some of those things she was involved with have collapsed, and like her funding and stuff like that, that's dried up. But she's trying to work that side of the street for that. So,
right,
we'll just have to see where it goes. But Georgia's got some stuff they need to get straightened out. But she said she's not running for gov. Bottoms, who used to be the mayor there,
I wouldn't vote
in
for
Atlanta,
her. She ran for dog catcher.
She's going to run, that's for sure. It's the silly season, as they call it in politics, and all the they're in. I guess they've already made it. I don't remember what the first day is that your state, all the senators and representatives show up. But that's the silly season. But I'm getting all kinds of campaign mail, and soon it'll be on your phone. It'll be in your YouTube. It'll be everywhere. They will bring in.
She ought to be charged.
It'll be covered up.
Yeah. Watchman, how you doing, bud? Thanks to Ruby Freeman. I don't know who Ruby Freeman is.
Ruby Freeman.
See, I'm not up on politics like all.
Well, these were workers who there was a lot that went on with that.
Right.
They said they investigated them. They didn't do anything, and then they absolutely went after Giuliani for things he said about him. So he got sued for a bunch of money and lost. And
sorry, but I was reading something.
No, but
I know how you feel, bro.
Yeah, campaign. He said Abrams and Walz are going to swap states. Oh, can you see him coming down here?
He would get his. Sorry, I almost said that. He would not.
It almost escaped.
He would not fare well. I'll put it that way. If he wants to be a manly man, come on down. Come on down.
But
let us introduce you to some manly men.
The two things that's been the biggest problem, and I work with elections. Our area is in great shape.
Yeah,
we know where the problems are. We know where it's at. They just got to fix it. But the two main things with Georgia in the last few elections has been this. One is these voter rolls and that were not clean, and they were people that were voting voting that shouldn't have been allowed to vote, voted that should have been off the roll, moved out of the state, went back in and voted by absentee ballot that should have been. We know that was a problem. They've worked on a lot of that throughout the state, dead people, whatever, that were on there. Number two is the outside money that's pouring into the state. Right. These the people you mentioned and others that are pouring money into Georgia to try to flip Georgia blue. They have vowed that they're going to do it. They said, we're going to flip Georgia blue.
Good luck.
And it was close, that first Abrams-Kemp election.
One city.
It was 8 points, though. It was 8 points the next time, so she fell further behind. But they have poured millions and millions of dollars into the state.
One city, Atlanta, blue.
Well, it is blue, and it is
Right.
North and South Georgia, which usually goes
But the
red.
thing-
Now there are some.
Yep.
There are some counties even there that will go blue because the cities. When you're talking about Albany, you're talking about Savannah,
Well,
places like that.
Yep.
But it takes everybody turning out in the state in North and South Georgia to hold the line. And if we
The
get
country.
lazy, if we get lazy with that, it will flip blue. We'll do that absolutely.
wow. I'm depressed. So,
We got to continue
just
on.
joking.
And then I will say, thirdly, is we need good conservative candidates.
Yeah.
Well, part of the problem is we've had bad conservative candidates. We've had people in there that are rhinos, people in there that are not wanting to be America first, and those that are
Wow.
being maligned and stuff. I mean, people are we got to support those people that are America first and
Yep.
and trying to make a change and get things straightened out in our country. We knew it was going to be ugly. It was not ever going to be smooth. There was just because President Trump was elected. I don't think anybody believed that, but I think there are some people that believe that it was going to be pretty smooth sailing. Even he said it's going to be a bumpy ride in this
Right.
first term. Bumpy. Well, we're hitting those bumps pretty hard right now.
Watchman said that they've got video of Ruby running ballots over and over and over.
Well, what they did,
And
and
bonus
we got to be
ballots.
careful here because I don't want to be sued. But
I don't
I'm-
want to be sued either.
I'm just telling you that they go after people really hard. They've got a team of lawyers that are working because they said their lives were destroyed and all that. So they absolutely went after people. But in the video, what happened was everybody left because of the water leak. We remember that. They came back and you can see on the video that there were other cases that were pulled out from under tables and used. So what they did was, as they said, fully looked at it, and there's nothing illegal there. And so people had said things about them around the country. And of course, that whole thing with the president talking to, elections officials in Georgia and other people that got involved, all of those were, that's where they went after them.
Well, it's conspiracy now, history in the future.
They won millions of dollars, and they have completely bankrupted Giuliani, and he lost.
He needs to get his money back.
Well, he had to sell like World Series memorabilia and stuff like that. He's had to get rid of that. Roger Stone, they came after really hard before that, and it took a presidential pardon for him. I mean, they come and got him in the midnight hour at gunpoint and, took him and his wife out. And if you listen to Roger Stone and all the things that's going on with that, but it financially devastated them. I mean, absolutely devastated them to defend themselves, to get lawyers. And, that's what they do. They run the lawfare. They run you through court, the Justice Department or the state courts, or whoever it is that, come after you.
Right.
And they come after you and they just outlast you. I mean, nobody's got the money. And,
I'm going to tell you, once you get into the court system, it is hard to get out.
Well, sure.
I mean, it's like somehow they just keep pulling you back in. I don't know how they do it.
When I didn't say you're funny, but when they pull you in like that and they just destroy you, and so here Roger was, and he was facing bad stuff. So the president pardoned him, and on his website you can actually get a copy of that pardon. I've been wanting to order one and put it on your wall, but obviously he's proud of that. But it's a way for him to make money. Then his wife has had some health problems, probably because of all the pressure and the strain and the anxiety of what they were going through. It caused her health to go down.
Right.
And that's what they do. They push it over time.
People don't realize
and
how stress
they
can
keep
do
threatening.
that.
Oh yeah, they keep threatening you.
Yeah. Stress will, make you sick. It will make you sick.
So
But
that's the deal there. So what they're going to say is that, and I get it, Watchman. I get it. So anything I'm saying, what they're going to say, what the side of the defense is going to say, it was fully investigated. There was no fraud, no problems found. They were clear. So if you say that, then you're defamation of character, and we're coming after you,
right?
Because you've destroyed them. They couldn't get jobs. They couldn't do this. They were under a mental, physical, emotional strain, and that's what they did. And they won big, and it has devastated him. And he's on. I mean, he's going to trial too. I mean, his health is.
What happened to freedom of speech? I thought you could say.
Well, if there's.
I know that there are certain things that you can't say, and you can't. But. I'm not talking about giving false witness about somebody. That's different.
Well,
the Bible tells you not to do that. I'm talking about reporters or whoever just, saying.
You got to be able to back those things up.
They've
They leave most people alone because they're not big enough. But like the president has sued some who said things about him, and he's won big money. He's made them retract. He's made them print things, millions of dollars himself. So it kind of works both ways. And that's why I say you can say we believe this or whatever. You got to have proof. You got to have that proof. And,
right.
A lot of people said they have the proof, but if they've had and listen, I want to say this.
You're supposed to be innocent until proven
guilty.
Well,
I want to say this. This team of lawyers that come down was supposed to be the dream team. They got smoked. Now that you can say whatever you want to say,
right?
But they were absolutely caught. It's kind of like Pam Bondi and Cash Patel and Bongino and all this stuff they said they had too. Well, where's it at? Well, this dream team lawyers that came down to into Atlanta and got in this case early on and stood up and said, we've got the fact, we've got it all. They got smoked. They didn't have nothing, and they got kind of destroyed.
Wow.
And they're now, selling hot books and trying to get monthly supporters and stuff because, they lost big themselves. So it's ugly. I get what you're saying because I watch the same things. And there's a lot of things we say we can prove or whatever, but you got to be able to put that on the money on the line. And when I watched that trial, when the push come to shove, they just didn't have the receipts. You got to have the receipts, man. You got to pull it.
I think the courtroom needs to have a boxing ring or something, in the back. And whenever there's a situation, you just take the two leads, put them in the ring. Whoever wins, there you go.
And what's the jury? Who's the judge? Who's the jury? What's it made up of? Are they even going to listen to facts? There's a lot of things that goes into that. But sometimes you win big, sometimes you lose big. And I'm going to tell you, those two ladies come out with a heck of a retirement plan because they won big,
right? Big.
And so people are very cautious about going because they went after them. I mean, they did go after them and what they saw and everything like that. I get it. But that one was not a win. That one was not a win for the side of Georgians, conservatives.
Yeah. Barry said he heard Mike Liddell was running for governor of Minnesota.
I think that's true. I saw him talking about that.
I like the old pillow guy.
He's another one that has been taken.
He has.
And they have tried to destroy his company. He's cost him millions of dollars.
Yep.
And now listen, that's a small factory up there, and those workers, have ownership in that company. And they were worried about, because they come after him so hard that some of he got kicked off every network. He was creating his own network. He was on Rumble a lot, still is, I guess. He's on multi platforms. He has started getting back in there, but his business probably will. I mean, a lot of people, that's what they're saying, buy something from him, support him. It's the same thing with Rumble because Rumble, who protects free speech and allows people like us to get out here.
Right.
They don't get major advertisers. Rumble does not get that. So they need the people to buy the premium membership and they need those ads and stuff because money has to be paid, bills have to be paid, and they're not getting the big box stores and the big news organizations. They went against Rumble. They went against Mike Lindell, and I was listening through the night of hours and hours of stuff and looking it up, and I was doing night shift security, and they came after him hard.
Watchman said the man who invented the QR code hacked into the system and showed that the votes were being sent out to other countries, being manipulated, and Kent refused to look at it. And Giuliani was there and said, I watched it live.
Well, I'm going to tell you, from day one, there was stuff that was said on the night of elections that was never proven. They said it happened overseas, but it was squashed. If it happened, those facts were never presented to anybody. I'll just say, like I said, I'm not saying that you're wrong. What I'm saying is they lost, and they lost big.
Yeah.
They come in promising that this was going to be a tidal wave of truth, that they were going to win this, and they were going to flip all this stuff back. And, you got people on both sides that are
I think there's so much going on behind the curtain.
Sure.
We're looking through a glory hole, so to speak. I hate to use that analogy, but a hole in a wall looking at all of this stuff that's taking place. We don't have a broad view of it. And Bongino left the FBI for a reason. He went back to his podcast for a reason.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's come out. I think he's had to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, there's things you can't say, but that whole thing's been a failure so far. And here we are over a year in, and once again, some of those promises have not been delivered on.
Yep,
they've not been delivered on, and that's what Americans wanted. That, or most Americans, they wanted that. They wanted to see an answer for the Epstein list and everything else. That hasn't happened. It has not happened.
And I know that we live in a instant gratification time. I mean, we microwaves, all of these things. We want instant gratification. Sometimes you got to develop patience, and it takes time for things. But
well, we know in the end all things will be revealed, and there will be
all things done in the dark will be revealed in the light. So. All right, let's talk about something else.
All voting machine use, only paper ballots counted by a person should be accepted. Yeah. Well, the one guy bought the Dominion. Well, we're about out of time for this show. We're going to take a break and come back with Cornbread Nation.
Well, there we go.
But we are at the end of this, and normally we don't talk too much politics on Wolf Nation. But that's fine. Right. That's what you want to talk about.
But hey, that's exactly right.
And it is an adventure, and we're in an adventurous time.
Yep.
with the elections coming up and the midterms. What I can say is make sure you're registered to vote and vote. And I've had people come in the podcast and say, I don't vote anymore, to heck with it. I'm going to continue to do that. That's for me. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying I think that's what we should do. If we just totally say forget it, then it's easier for the enemy to win. I will say that. And who's the enemy? Sometimes it's hard to figure out.
Well,
sometimes it's hard to figure out who's the good guys and who's the bad guys.
Yep. I saw a post somebody made the other day, and I kind of liked it. I feel a lot along the same lines. It says, if I offended you in 2025, or if I did not offend you in 2025, either way, 2026, I'll get around to it.
Well, it don't take much. and right. I will say this, even among conservatives, we are our own worst enemy. We devour each other.
Oh, yeah.
We devour each other.
What's humanity?
I cannot tell you how many times that I've been sent messages for something that we've said on a podcast that I thought was pretty straightforward, and fellow conservatives
right,
attacking that and saying you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, it's really this, it's really that, and it's just endless. Everybody is an expert. Everybody has
an opinion,
the receipts, an opinion, and whatever, and that's fine. Yeah. I love that.
Yep.
What I don't like is that we just tear each other down instead of a discussion. It becomes an attack. And I'll be the first to tell you, I don't have all the info. I think it's a search for truth, but sometimes that's layered and it's not always easy to find. And I have shifted on a lot of things. When I thought I was really on track for something, it turned out to be something totally different. I think you just have to. There's just so much, and nowadays it's so easy to manipulate people. One of the let me say this, and I'll be gone. We'll shut down and we'll come back with Cornbread Nation here in a few minutes. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Humans are easily fooled, and here's what: a magician, and nothing really disappears. A magician doesn't have that power,
right?
But he makes you think he or she has made something disappear, or made something to appear that seemingly was not there, and out of nothing. That really didn't happen, but our eyes fooled us. So even sometimes we think, I've seen this, I know what it was. There are people that have been fooled through manipulation of media. Nowadays with AI,
that's what media is for.
It is more than ever. It is so easy for people. You have to really stay after it. You have to really pay attention. Yeah. You can get so far down in the middle of it, you kind of lose what's going on in your flanks. You've got to pull back and look at the thing from all sides.
Well, media does telecast, and what they're doing is casting.
But I get it. And another thing I'll say is you'll never change somebody's opinion. No. If they don't want to change their opinion, you're not. So I find it useless to argue. I don't like to argue anyway.
I heard a guy that's, I don't think it was AI, but anyway, it was funny. Lady said, man, it was an older guy. I said, how? You're so peaceful. I don't ever hear you say a bad word about anybody. How do you do that, especially with your wife? And he said, well, I just don't argue with people that are stupid. And she started coming back at him, and he said, you're right. I didn't get into it. That was, but yeah.
Oh, what we can say is that there are people who have, whether they're out for their own interests. They don't care who they burn down to fulfill or feed that addiction or that interest or that power.
Well, when they get a little power, that's where the addiction
and those
starts.
people are in America, and some of them are outside America.
Yeah.
And like I said, who's the good guy and who's the bad guy? Because I'm telling you, we don't all agree on that. And I know that because every time I open my mouth, people say, "Oh, that's a good guy," or she, they're a good guy. And
I like that.
You can't. I do too.
That's good, Jerry.
We just don't agree on it. We're not going to agree, and it's from the direction that people are looking at.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give examples right now, but it's the truth. I mean, but I like the discussion. I don't know that we ever really settled anything, but it's, if anything, the one thing I do like about it is that at least we're talking about it, and we're trying to think through, and we're trying to follow up. But
we're trying to come out
the
of
spin.
It.
I used to like Bill O'Reilly's The Spin.
Oh yeah,
the spin of everything, and there's everybody's spinning it. Everybody's spinning it. Everybody's in the spin zone.
Watchman said, "The truth hurts, but the lies are killing us."
Yeah, and there's just it seems to get worse, not better.
Yeah,
I don't know that we've improved any. I mean, I really don't. And even though you might say, well, the good guy won. Well, there's a lot of bad people involved and stuff. And so who all of a sudden you have these people that are speaking and all of a sudden they shut up? What do they have on them? What's going on? What's the threat? Do we believe there are people that have been killed in our country for information they had? I certainly do.
There's no doubt. I know
multiple. No telling how many. Well, who's the trigger people? Who authorized the hit? Those are things that we struggle with. I mean, because we don't know exactly who that person is, or we may have an idea. We may even be right on it. We may have one person when there's 50 involved.
Well, let me ask you this: is that considered murder? You know what I mean? Is
I'm going to tell you,
murder to execute someone?
Well, here's, and I'll say, and we will go on this. That's a great question. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that is because with this case right now, with the ICE agents and this lady, both sides are saying potential for murder or murder. So that word's being thrown around. It was murder. It was murder.
Yep.
So it depends on who you ask. It depends on how you feel, how you think about that situation, whether you think it was murder or was not murder, or it could have been murder or whatever. And that's the point of all this. That's what I'm saying. The agreement on this is not universal, even among conservatives. There'll be people, they say they're conservative, maybe they're not. But people disagree on this. Things that we do as a nation with our military. Some would say, I don't think we should be doing that. Some say, let's do more. I know because I got friends, and I have one friend that says over here, says we shouldn't be doing this. The other one says we need to do more.
It's the reptilians.
We cannot. We cannot get an agreement on that. So anyway,
the reptilians keep throwing flies in the ointment, man. I'm telling you.
What I will say is I love the country. I'm very patriotic.
Oh,
I pray for it every day, and I pray for the leaders, all leaders, because I'm instructed to do that. I pray for those in authority, and God can make people change beyond even what they think He can do anything with anybody.
Well, we need to lift our leaders up in prayer.
We do need to pray for them, and we need to pray for that. Nobody.
I just read, at the start of the show.
We do not need our country in a war internally.
No.
We're already in kinds of wars, but listen, and let me say
United
this.
We stand, divided we
fall.
People that
came to this country, and this goes back 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. People that came to this country and become citizens that came out of a war zone, they told me this. They said, David, what I'm hearing is exactly what I heard in the country that I came from. I'm American now. And it scares us to death because we're hearing the same steps, step by step.
Same rhetoric.
And they said, we just got to stop. And that's what they said. I'm not going to mention who, what, when, where, but I can tell you that they absolutely said, it sounds just like what I heard back 25, 30 years ago, whatever.
Well, folks, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back with Cornbread Nation. And
we're going to get some laughs in. Oh my goodness.
We are. This next show is going to be laughable.
It's always, the show is always laughable.
Well, yeah, but we're going to pause for the cause, and we'll see y'all back in a minute. And as always, remember, the wolf knows to always keep us sending.
Yes, keep us sending.
Keep us sending.
Absolutely. Thank
Amen.
y'all. Y'all are a blessing. Thanks for everybody being in here.
Yes, thank you.
Out on the airwaves, mud soaked and loud. Cornbread man talking, biscuit boy proud. Static crackles like a rattlesnake's tail. Voices rolling like a freight train wheel. Cornbread man, biscuit boy, talking live love and southern joy. Cornbread man, biscuit boy, raise your glass, make some noise. Gravy drips in the southern drawl. Stories thick like the cypress tall. Radio rebels riding wild and free, shouting truths like a storm at sea.